Star Trek Lower Decks Review, Season 1,
Don't stick things in your
Episode
brain.
6. What?
Don't stick things in your brain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, see, that's the thing is, like, we're,
Aliens! It was aliens!
like, it's a confusing amount of competency because, like, yes, his competency is kind of in weird places. Like, okay, he chills out the whole thing with the the chief medical officer in the beginning of it, if I remember correctly, and then like, okay, so he's cool, he's competent that way, and then he does the thing where he connects his brain to the the chips, and he's competent enough to do that, but then like not competent enough to know how not to do it, to end up in a rogue AI, and then also knowing not to jump trash in the warp core. Like he does some things that are like, oh, that's cool. Then he's stupid. It's like, oh, but I did
Yeah,
love
but I
that.
mean, there are people like that.
Yeah, it's just sort of weird. You're competent this way, but you are completely stay away from this. It's like, stay out of engineering forever. And we got J.G. Hertzler. That was for people who don't remember, that was Martok from Deep Space Nine. Played the salvager captain.
It kept muting me and unmuting me and muting me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. Where were
He
we?
must be doing some, like, he's like, you know what, I'm okay with reprising Martok because he's, well, and doing Star Trek stuff, like, because, well, voice acting in general, because he's been doing some video game voices. I know I haven't checked his IMDb lately, but I know he's done some video game voices as Martok, and then we get this little cameo. So
Nice.
Also, do you know how hard it is to wash cheese out of fur
With
in a
supersonic or whatever
sonic
it was.
shower?
yeah.
Like, you're gonna just have to shave it off. Then again, they probably have stuff that can, like, make the fur grow back instantly.
So you're suggesting she become a shaved pussy?
Fuck. I hate you. I hate you so much. But yes.
Okay, moving on.
It was his suggestion.
Yeah, it was, but
I gotta
first
say
way
though,
of talking about it.
I gotta say that I really want to go to that dance. I mean, after they added the third,
Right? And it became the choo 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 dance?
I know,
Dude,
right? Like, oh my god.
3 chews? Are you sure you could handle 3 chews?
No. I could handle 4.
No way. No one can handle 4 chews.
And
I definitely could.
That's just too many.
then you get you get a little bit more introduction to Delta Shift. We
And
should
who
be awake at
doesn't
the same
worry about the
time.
consoles? You know other people have to use those.
Fair point.
Well, we know who doesn't just by that reaction.
Yeah.
The captain's yacht was a funny idea.
It was.
It's like at the end, oh yeah, like in just showing kind of part of Mariner's, Boimler's issues with Mariner, but it's like, okay, my issues with you are very different than my issues with Mr. Throw the Trash in the Warp Core guy. It's like,
Yeah.
you're
For sure.
actually competent and you get up to shenanigans, but at least you're not usually trying to get in anybody else's way.
And I kind of like her thing that's like, yes, I break the rules. The stupid ones, not the ones that can get other people hurt.
Also, we get a Clippy.
Oh, and yes, the B plot for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Badgie. Budgie, 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 budgie.
Wow, that's internet. It's an internet
Ancient.
antique.
Oh, it's a
Numa numa
snack.
yay. Numa 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 yay. We're going for internet antiques here.
We're old.
Ancient dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I
Well, I
like
guess
that
if you
series. Shut up.
consider birds dinosaurs, you do have modern dinosaurs.
I always knew Clippy was evil.
Yeah. Well, this is if Clippy had a lot more processing power, and a holographic place with the safety limitations turned off. What is like? Okay, so he's got this rage to kill. What's that look like with safety protocols put on?
I'm gonna kill you. Like a little kid with a plastic knife.
Yeah, he tries to strangle somebody, but the computer automatically weakens his hands to the point where all he can do is sort of give a nice neck massage.
Ooh, that feels nice. It's not supposed to feel nice. It's supposed to hurt. I'm trying to kill you. You're trying to what? I'm trying to kill you. You're trying to kill me? No, kill.
Tries to whip up trying to, like, as part of his training thing, he's like, oh, I'll just summon an anvil. Oh, turns to rubber. Huh, that's kind of funny. Just stop being amused and delighted at my attempts to kill you. Which I think he suffers from some of the problems of a lot of villains. Like, I want to kill you with my own bare hands. It's like, just keep shooting at them.
Yeah.
Pew pew.
Although he is pretty out of shape for a holographic character.
Yes.
True.
It's a bit like the Matrix. Is that air you're breathing? Oh.
I mean, throwing trash at them is resourceful. Space junk, go. I mean, I would have just used my tractor beam and throw it back at them.
Yeah, but then that would be instigating.
I mean,
They're
not
trying
really.
to
They're just
avoid fighting back.
Well, what you could do is,
I thought you were trying. You weren't gonna fight back. We're not fighting back. Dodging my attacks is fighting back.
well,
Like, no, it's not. It's just sidestepping your crap.
exactly.
well, or they could have taken a big chunk of, say, rock nearby and gone, okay, shield. Just that's the shield. You go trying to whack the ship with the bit of debris, and he just puts the rock in the way. It's like smash. Oh, it's coming in.
I think that guy already was smashed.
Wouldn't surprise me, but yeah,
Drunkard.
it's like if do the tractor beams work? Yes. Okay, pick a nice big chunky piece of something and use that as a shield. What? Yep. Oop.
No using me as a shield.
And just asteroid. Boop. Nope.
I wonder if we're ever gonna see more of that abomination of his mind and machine again.
Bachi's apparently seemingly fairly popular, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, that particular one, I doubt it, because it kind of blew up with the ship.
Oh, okay.
You never know.
Okay, the okay, not Badgie, the other guy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering.
I wonder if that.
It caused the ship to blow up.
Yeah, but you know how it always is.
And you know the old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies far, far away.
I did not know that.
Preferably with a sniper trained on them at all times.
Or two if if they're a Time Lord. One for each heart.
I wonder if Time Lords have sort of a bolo shot. Like they have the way the way their weapons work, instead of firing as a single pinpoint bolt, they fire
like more
two
like
bolts.
buckshot.
Yeah, or two, or buckshot or something. They fire more like clustered because they have to hit two hearts. So like, okay, yes, this goes a long distance.
They use stasers.
Okay.
Which are like phasers, but not to track.
Yes. But oh yeah, a funny thing. It just with that, using an asteroid as a shield, I was just thinking you could cut down to the science officer or whoever's manning the tractor beam operations, whoever's got that, and it locks it into you just look down at their console and it just looks like an 8-bit mini game. Junk Ninja.
Dear God.
Perfect. Yeah. Which also, it seems to me like, okay, you've got this piece of equipment. assumingly you have like replicators positioned throughout the ship, like in places where you might need to replicate something new.
Yeah.
Like you could, replicate a new one of those to put into the shield thing.
The
Like,
core.
yeah, that whole core, you could just replicate it if you don't already have one standing by. And as many of those chips as they use, ice linear chips, I imagine that it's just like there's a ton of those that they just make those in bulk and just like here. It's like oh, and put it right back. But yeah, that wouldn't be nearly as funny.
Yeah.
A lot to this episode.
I mean, that choo-choo dance.
You know what's funny is
When they added the third shoe, I cried. And so did you. Don't deny it. I saw you. Oh my God, you were there.
but Star Trek Online, I didn't realize how big of a deal. Apparently, it's popular enough. This episode is apparently popular enough. They brought in like for their summer event this like last year or like this year or last year, whenever it was out. They brought in choo choo shirts. You could actually buy a choo choo shirt.
So I gotta ask, was the choo-choo dance a real thing in the old Star Trek?
No.
No,
Okay.
it's a lower decks thing, I think,
Okay.
unless there's some obscure novel or an episode of TOS I'm not thinking of.
I can't think of one from. Well, there is always Wiki.
Yeah, I'm not even bother because I don't think it. I really doubt it. I think it was just a throwaway. Haha, there's some funny little thing in the background. Like we're never gonna
Yeah, I
actually
think
show
that was
this
just.
because we're not gonna show this because whatever you're picturing in your head is way better than anything we could come up with. Like you're gonna picture in your head whatever is the most amusing way of imagining this for you. So we'll just leave it up to your imagination.
Yeah, it's literally just the one episode reference.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah. It's very much a thing that sound. I mean, I guess it does sound like something the Enterprise D would be running into. It's like, Riker, you've pissed them off because you refuse to do the choo-choo dance. Now I've got to be all diplomat again and figure out how to remedy this situation. I think at this time it will involve a banana.
I mean, I do love the fact that they got rid of him by making it seem like he saved the day, which I guess technically he did in a weird roundabout.
Accidental, yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, he did so great. No, take him away.
Yeah.
He got a promo. I love how these promotions are given out so willy-nilly, and yet Boimler, who really, really wants it, never gets one.
It's like, please,
Yeah, and
give
it
me
is
promotion.
genuinely, from what we can tell from the Boimler effect, is genuinely competent. Like at least in he's proficient in all the repairs that he needs to know because he was actually finishing his work in the time allotted. Just like, oh yes.
When even the captain was struggling.
Yeah, it's like, oh yes.
It's like, Captain, not everybody's a Boimler.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just if anything, like, yeah, if anyone was going to be promoted to, lieutenant junior grade or lieutenant, like Boimler, like, like you want somebody who will find the boring parts of being a lieutenant entertaining and just fascinating. Like, yeah.
Well, you want somebody who will be happy to work there.
Yeah, who would be? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You want him, like, yeah, he's he seems like Mariner and Boimler, like Boimler is is more in he's more modeled in sort of what might become, somebody more along the Picard line of how things, of diplomacy and, I will do everything. He's very young and inexperienced, but sort of that sort of strain of Starfleet captain, where Mariner is more Kirk slash Cisco. I just we're gonna get this thing done.
Yeah.
but but that's kind of where they work together so well, is because they just sort of play off of, okay, he's a little too conservative on what he'll, you know he's too much of a wet blanket and she's a little too much of a live wire. So together, if they listen to each other enough, like I said, between them, if you could find a decent, a really amazing Starfleet officer there. Like, if they had, just a nice, a measure between them.
They should have a child, and then that child would be the perfect officer.
With the shipping, it's probably that story has probably already been written.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, this is set 10 years down the line. uh Mariner is a captain. Boimler's her first officer, who's, who helps cover for her and, keep the ship actually running, and sort of pulls her back when she's being a little too much, but she's actually really good. And, like, oh yeah, they have a kid, and it's like, yeah, but it's sort of a mixture of the two, is, somewhere in between, and just like rockets through the ranks. It's just like, yeah, it's just her father's competency and interest in the rules, but her mother's willingness to bend them where they need to be bent.
Just slightly.
And also competency in other things.
Yeah.
They both have competency, but in different, like, she's got more people skills and real world sort of things, and he's more, yeah, okay. If you want to know, okay, how to bounce the how what the regulations say about bouncing a graviton particle beam off the main deflector dish, you go to Boimler. If you're looking for somebody to make the decision to bounce a graviton particle beam off the main deflector dish, it might be more Mariner.
Mm-hmm. And you want anything more sciencey, go to either Tendi or
Rutherford.
Rutherford.
I forget, was there anything with Rutherford?
Yeah,
He and
that
Tindy
was
were
the
doing the
Badgie.
Badgie thing.
Oh, yeah.
He created Badgie in order to try to impress Tendi.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
no,
that
I
whole
think he
murder
had
thing
already
totally
built
slipped
it, but
past me.
it wasn't ready. But he rushed it out and had her try it out without
Money.
him finishing it.
Like, wait, why is he running out of breath?
Because he was climbing upstairs.
You think that's air you're breathing?
Now it turns out that Badgie is actually the great descendant of Clippy.
Yep.
And he wants
Rutherford probably
revenge.
noticed it. He saw Clippy somewhere and was like, "Ooh, I like that idea."
Well, we've rambled a bit. Anything else?
Let me think. Space, ponies, we got a Doc 2 reference in there. We got a Star Trek reference in there too.
The whole thing is a Star
that is
Trek reference.
I know.
Lord of the Rings reference? No.
Uh,
Wait, what was our pony reference?
I said ponies.
Wow. Although they did mention Q a few times.
Oh yeah,
it
we
must be
can't
the
just
Q messing about. Yeah, totally, the Q.
Yeah,
They do weird things.
you.
I felt kind of offended by that.
I would just laugh if just one popped up for a brief moment and was like, "Don't blame us." Pops back out.
he he shows up. The Q shows up. You know, one of the Q shows up, and their ears are literally burning. Yeah, I heard.
How
You know, we
dare
have
you?
lives too.
Don't blame us for all of your little business here. That was all on you, you limited species.
So I'm curious. Like, I get like Qs are powerful and all that stuff, but are they the most powerful race?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like nothing that's above a Q.
There was that weird
Me.
thing that Guinan was doing that worried Q for some reason, where she was doing sort of the claw motion with her hands, and that like she was about to cast a spell or something, and that made Q worry for a second. So maybe Elorians can mess with Q, but I don't know.
Uh,
I'm not sure I ever saw an explanation for what the heck that was about, but
yeah, because I was thinking like the only thing more powerful than a Q is an R.
no, that's
No.
for the mirror
No.
universes. They have R's.
No. Actually, it's P.
Hmm.
If you listen to Spock versus Q, P comes before Q. And in IQ, there was the race known as the M, who are about the same level as the Q, but they claim to have been there first and to have existed before the Q. And there's this big war between the two. Not war, but more of a rivalry, like that whole I was here first. No, I was here first. I'm the more powerful one. You know, that kind of rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I
Stop.
really suggest reading or listening to IQ.
Okie dokie.